And we're live. Take it away. Go ahead, Ray J. Ray J, you're on mute if you can hear me.
I hope y'all had a good lunch. We about to get farm pod. It's a oh wait, they're ready.
Yeah. Live. Good. Okay. Good afternoon. Oh, Dave. We got lots to look forward to this weekend, so we'll be back on Saturday and Sunday.
Dara,
we are pleased to be here.
we're in and out a little bit. I don't know if it's a signal.
Picking up my mic, that's why, off of his.
I am muted. I think no, I'm using YouTube.
I think it's a signal.
Yeah.
Dakota, what were you saying before?
Oh, I was just introducing the topic. I didn't know if they was ready. That's why I didn't want to interrupt. But
Okay, everyone, they're just trying to get the signal together. It's kind of poor where they're at. Let's give them a few to work it out.
I do have a question though. If the participants are available to answer, if y'all had any fruit from the island that you would like to try, like, I mean, I'm just telling you from experience, the fruit here at stateside is way different from like even the mango itself is different from there. So if you had any fruit that you would like to try, what would it be? And you could just put it in the chat.
Dragon fruit.
It's my, oh, I love dragon fruit.
I never tried it, but I really want to.
It reminds me of like a mix of kiwi, and then like the texture is really like that, and it's watery like watermelon. Like it's really good. You'll love it. How about you, Sarah?
Honestly, dragon fruit's a good one. I'm sure the mangoes, they even look really different, so I'd love to try one of those. But like the one I've never had before is an egg fruit. Never even heard of it until the AgDiscovery started, but I would try it.
That's one I've never tried myself at all. There's another one called, oh, they're ready. I'm sorry. Look, they're ready.
So we are back live here at the Farm Pod. Love those responses. Egg fruit, you're going to get up close and personal with at a later date. Probably for some of us a little bit more personal than we'd like to be, but that's okay. So yeah, welcome back once again. Day 5, 2021 UVI AgDiscovery program. It is Friday, as I had said before. But this Friday, we're particularly pleased to be here at the Farm in a Pod. And this is a high-tech kind of operation. This is kind of, as I dubbed in the midst of our Ag Day, we had with this morning our COM and IT and distance learning team talking to us about agriculture and the connection between technology. I don't know, Mr. Clevy and team, if you were actually able to view the video footage that I sent. So there is an NFL player that's on the Tennessee Titans team who is also a farmer and is using drone technology to help him do his farming. It was quite a nice article that appeared on 4-H's Facebook page. So kind of cool. So I'll try and send that back out so everybody can see that. But long story short, let's get the party started here at Farm in a Pod. And introducing to us, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, but Mr. Mike Straight. So Mike, take it away.
All right. You got me? Yeah, there you go. So I'm Mike Straight. I'm the CEO and founder of FarmPod, and this is Beecher Cotton, who is my chief engineering officer and one of the founding members as well. Out of everybody in here, I mean, I'm assuming people know greenhouse growing a little bit, but how many of you know about aquaponics at all? Like, show of hands. All right, so a fair amount of you guys are doing that stuff. That's cool. It's part of the reasons we located here was because of UVI and the aquaponics program that Don Bailey and the rest of the crew have done over there. We work with Don pretty closely. So I think probably the first thing I'll start with is that what we sort of started out as is that we knew that if you wanted to bring ag tech to sort of the masses, everybody around the world, then you had to make something that was easy and deliverable. You needed something that was automated, and we wanted something that had could kind of grow anything you want year round, and also do it in a way that had a good impact on the environment. And so we run on solar power and rainwater, and we basically produce food in a parking space using aquaponics. So when you guys go outside, and you'll see in some of these pictures here are this is the first pod we ever built. And we built it in Santa Fe, New Mexico in a parking lot. So hot in the summer, sometimes 100 degrees, as low as -26 in the winter. So
Just very quickly, a question.
Yeah.
Does that Farm in a Pod in a parking lot in Santa Fe have any connection to Charlie Schultz?
So Charlie moved to Santa Fe when we were already working with the community college there. We ran into him, met him, and then worked with him and his students for quite a while. And he moved there as we were moving here. So we actually crossed paths sort of in the middle.
The reason that I asked that question is Charlie Schultz used to work at the agricultural experiment station with the aquaculture program.
Yep.
Here. So he's now taking that technology and a lot of, well, not this particular technology, but a lot of what he's been doing here at UVI to that Santa Fe Community College.
Yep. And they have a beautiful program there. It's really great because they basically offer a associate's degree in controlled environment agriculture, which is pretty cool. The more schools I think that can start building that stuff in, I think it's one of the coolest things you can do. So yeah, so this picture in particular is at the school there where Charlie teaches. But we built this in a parking lot. I sort of had an idea about this thing and then ran around in my head for a while and then told Beecher about it, and Beecher wanted to see it, and we hadn't built it, so he flew out and we built this thing in a parking lot. And it worked the first time, which was really exciting because often that's not the case when you're trying to do this stuff. And so what you'll see is that on the top we have a greenhouse. The greenhouse has vertical grow towers like the one behind you in that corner right there. And these grow towers act like your soil, but you have no soil, right? So the grow towers go in place and nutrient-rich water flows through them, and it cleans the water while taking in what it needs, right? Like aquaponics does. Down below, we have the fish, and we have all the machinery. So in our first version, we had an awful lot of machinery inside the pod because it was very easy for us to get to, and we only had a certain type of shipping container. And we've changed a lot of that. You guys will see when we go outside because we now have doors on both ends, which allows us to have a machine room in the back. So you can have all your stuff like valves and things that people can flip because they often flip without asking, like, oh, what's this do? And we put that all in a machine room so that that's not an issue anymore. And so mostly now inside there, you'll just see a very clean space, some tanks that have lids that are closed, and a lot of insulation. Because the first thing we try to do is to get efficient when we're designing something like this. I want to be able to grow strawberries in the middle of summer here and in the middle of winter in Montana. And so to do that, you got to get efficient. And that starts with things like insulation, really efficient pumps, because we're moving all this water all the time. It needs to run off solar. And things like how much you feed the fish, and because the nutrients matter so much to the plants that you have to have the right balance of all of this. And our automation does all that. And that's a lot of what Beecher works on, is the automation side. After I show you a little bit in here, we can go in here. We've got our 3D printing lab, and where he's printing like automated fish feeders and all kinds of fun stuff that's going on in there. And then before we go outside. Just to give you kind of an order of scale, if you see some of these images over here, that one in the middle right there, that's a week's harvest. So a farm pod, even though it's pretty small, fits in a parking space, makes an awful lot of food. And we actually use taller grow towers now. Those are 5-foot towers. We use 7-foot towers. But the way we do that is by having a 3 to 4 week grow cycle. And so we plant 1 week, then we plant the next row the next week, then the next. So you're always getting food. Not the way normal farming is done. Right? Normally you just plant a big field of it and you harvest it, and then you're going to plant more, or maybe your season's over. And down here, or in a farm pod, we can grow year round. And so it allows us a little more control. And that'll show you kind of some of the things we do: basils and lettuce and mints and edible flowers and strawberries, of course, which is kind of everybody's favorite. And then the big difference is these grow towers that you see over there, they just have a piece of folded like insulation kind of filter material. And that's just for air and healthy bacteria to live and let the water flow through, right? But it folds open. So all we do is we take that tower down, and I'll show you one out here. You put a hook in the bottom, kind of slide out the thing, fold it open, put the baby plants in, fold it closed, slide it back in the top. And that means no weeding. That means no dealing with pests that come from soil, which is a big problem in greenhouses, pests, right? So we try to get all that out of the mix so that it's as stable as possible in there. Any questions so far? No? Okay, good. Oh, fire away.
So what got you into doing farm pod?
Okay, so my background before I had this company was I ran an IT company. So I did network administration and sort of designed technology systems that would work for people. And I love tech, but I also really love how tech can help people, not just because it's cool and it's techy, like so many people are into that. And my hobby was hydroponics and aquaponics. And so the idea of sort of marrying those together so that everybody could be a farmer. Like if you own a restaurant, or you have a school, or you have, a retirement home, I can take a farm and I can put it in front, and you can watch a 2-hour video and basically run a farm. And so I literally 3 a.m. one night woke up. I had a weird dream about a farm pod, and I have a huge whiteboard in my bedroom, and I drew the thing, and I went back to bed, and then I just sort of started working on it for a year until Beecher came on and we actually built the real thing. But my desire was to be able to make cool tech that also did something healthy and good for the planet, all be able to go out. And so my background just sort of was, I was lucky that I had both sides of that already. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not a morning person. I definitely I'll wake up. My creative time is probably 9 o'clock at night till 1 a.m. I mean, Beecher and I were building the farm pod in the parking lot starting at 7 a.m. until 2 a.m. every day for 36 straight days when we built the first one. And we got most of our work done after 9 o'clock, probably. We were sitting there all day figuring out, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, we got it. And we just build it out. So, oh yeah, do we need to ask about if there's any questions online for this, or we just keep going? Oh yeah, anybody got any questions out there on the interwebs? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So maybe you want to show them the lab in here. This stuff's pretty cool. Here, let me give you a mic.
It's going to be tight in here, but come on in. All right. So in here we do, let me just get this brought up. Okay. I'll let you guys get on in here. So in here, I basically do the building of the boards. So you see over there, that's like our first sort of run at the farm pod. Those are little computers that control different aspects of the farm pod, and then those all link together. And you'll see that out in the farm pod. It looks like this now. So we have a number of these in there. These are called relay boards, and this is a Raspberry Pi computer. So this is got an HDMI port on it, does 4K, you can surf the web with it, everything. And that just clips onto it. And we have a number of these controlling every aspect of the pod, basically. So we can turn on fish feeders and pumps and close valves and do all kinds of things. And what that does is it allows us to make it a lot easier for you to maintain. And as we're out there, that'll all make a little bit more sense. One of the other challenges of building a farm pod is a lot of people, if they're doing aquaponics, they're usually doing it on a very huge scale. So if you want a fish feeder, you can get one that'll throw it across the pond, or you can get one for your, home fish. So like this, for example, is a fish feeder that I was able to make here. I used Fusion 360 and designed this, and then the 3D printer printed it. And then there's a little motor that fits in the back here. There's 4 of them out in the pod, you'll see. And then they're basically just hooked up to this. And that allows the system to alter the food rates to keep it in balance. So we get to have some fun in here, figuring stuff out. And so the ones out there have very big motors on them. And I did some testing with this smaller motor. And I'm going to redesign the fish feeder to use this smaller, cheap, less expensive motor. But it starts out with creating the motor in CAD so that when I make the fish feeder, I know that all these things will print properly and fit together, because that took about 20 hours to print. So this is the actual motor here, and then that's the drawing I did of it in CAD so that I could use it for sizing and all that stuff. So that's a scale model. And let's see, like the fish feeders are probably in here. Might take me a minute to find them. But yeah, so the fish feeder just started out as all these lines, and then extruding it and playing with that, and then you're able to just make it. So anyone who likes making stuff, definitely worth it to learn some CAD if you can, I'd say. And I just learned this from YouTube, just watching YouTube, trying it out, figuring out, having specific problems I was trying to solve, and now I'm pretty quick with it. So so you guys got any questions about any of this? Yeah. We have a Creality CR10. That's that guy over there. And then next to that one behind you guys, that's a little tiny snap maker. And that one actually has different attachments. So you can do milling or you can do laser burning. So there's actually a little piece of wood there with a brain circuit board burnt into it. And then I tried using it to make my own circuit boards. So I was designing the circuit boards so that thing could cut away the copper, and I'd be able to solder my components onto it. However, it wasn't accurate enough. So I stuck with these little guys here. You can pass it around. So these are just what are called proto boards. And so this center rows here are all connected to each other. And then these are all bussed together as well. And what that allows you to do is fit a whole bunch of components on something neatly. So I'm able to put my resistors and diodes and all the things I need to protect those specific circuits, or whatever else I need to do. This is like a little voltage regulator. So I can power this board with 12 volts, but this guy only wants 5 volts. So I can power him off of this. But if you try to do all that just in the air, it gets pretty messy. So it's nice to have these little guys, and you can order those pretty easily online. So yeah, there's when you go out to the pod 2, you'll see when you get to the machine room, you'll see a whole bunch of little boxes and different things. And those are all 3D. A lot of those are 3D printed solutions for, unique and specific problems to our one of a kind machine out there. So, yeah.
What makes you, what are you excited to join this project?
Yeah, I was actually doing film before this. And I enjoyed the creativity of it, but it didn't feel like I was doing much to sort of help out. This was a really exciting project. I've always been into figuring out new solutions to problems. And so this has been absolutely, it was the best move ever. I get to come in here and solve problems, every day. So.
I thought you might want to show them this in case they want to check it out.
Oh yeah, that's
just kind of an eccentric 3D printing guy too. Fun side projects going on.
So these are this is fabric I printed out. Yeah, so I set the 3D printer up to print the first few layers of these hexagons, and then had it stop and wait, and then I would just tape down bug screen and then let it continue to print, and so it fuse through itself. And then, yeah, then there's, I mean, you can, this actually printed in 2 halves, but you can actually make stuff with a 3D printer that'll have some sort of function to it. Yeah, here's some dragon scales. And then, yeah, you guys, yeah, yeah. Oh, let's see, this is interesting too. This is 100% 3D printed, and this is I downloaded this design online, and it's called NASA Hex Fabric. So this is a version of what they're going to be using, the structure of what they might be using in the spacesuits and stuff. And then this was like, I injured my thumb, and I didn't want to go to the hospital, so I printed this out. Then I used the heat gun and formed it. So.
And when COVID first started, he was printing like masks that you can put filters over, and actually started producing ventilator machines. It's actually like an MIT that allows you to build ventilators and motors. We got all the parts to be able to make those in case there are any. So.
And like this will print out just like this, and then when you can take it off and reconnect it. Yeah. Before I go home, I put something on there, and then when I come in the morning, I get to look at it and see what it did.
Well, yeah, and things like this, like say, you may say, oh, what's the use of this? I mean, it's actually, this is a purse from my outfit, right, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, like you put straps.
It's broken, but
it would be that, but it also just, you can sit there and go, how does the structure, this shape, fit inside of another structure? All allowing it to move, and then being able to print that. Like, yeah, that's being printed, but it could be the side of a thing that comes down to cover a fish tank. It could be anything.
could be a fold-out greenhouse.
Yeah, exactly. Just playing with the ideas of how things work, even if you don't know why you're playing with it, is things that will lead you to ways of solving a problem you might not have realized you could solve that way. And that's one of the ways to keep kind of innovating something, is to really be, doing that sort of thing all the time.
And I think a lot of our best inventing
Yeah.
Plastic.
Playing, perhaps, but that's what they did. Is they just tried something and maybe had somewhat of a seed of an idea that it evolved from, and then it just kept going, and they kept tweaking and playing and tweaking and playing, and eventually they came up with something that was actually workable.
Yeah, well, we've been tweaking and playing for about 5 years, and now so it's that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I'm gonna hand this back to you.
I think it's.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I see that some of these are made from different materials.
Yep.
What are some of the materials you use?
So if you look behind you, see those spools? It all starts as those spools. So there's a few different plastics you can print. There's one called PLA, which is the most common. All this stuff here is PLA. And then there's one called PET or PETG, and that's basically the same stuff that's in water bottles. And that's a much harder, stronger one that's tougher to print. It makes, you can make really strong things with it, like this. You guys feel that? It's like a really strong part. That's, you guys can pass it around. And then there's TPU, which is a flexible. So you can actually, print phone cases and stuff like that out of this stuff. Those are the main ones. Then more complicated ones, there's like ones that'll print carbon fiber. You can print ABS, which is a stronger but more brittle plastic.
Okay, I have a question, teacher. As we are here become in the agricultural field, potentially and eventually, I was thinking you guys are two genius in my eyes. So how do you think you can make it in a standard kit so people who would like to apply those knowledge can do it less?
Yeah, well,
creative.
how would like 3D printing apply to an agriculture type class, you mean, or?
The whole concept. or it can become a standard technique, so we can just like apply it to make.
Yes, well, that's the whole point of the farm pod, right? Is that we're doing all this stuff in the back, figuring all this out and getting it to run smoothly so that somebody without much experience can easily walk into it and not be having to learn about the chemistry of the water immediately and know the feel of all that stuff, because the machine's taking care of that stuff for you. You know,
basically have Kervin, our intern that we have now that operates the pod. He didn't really have farming experience or anything like that, and we basically gave him a few hours of training, and he runs the pod better than we do. So from a perspective of being able to get the stuff out there, you know, the way we get it out there is that you just have to find us, and then we can get it to you, and it will grow your food pretty simply. From the perspective of development, one of the things that we're looking at, especially for students, is that we've got a nonprofit program that creates grade-specific curriculum. That creates grade-specific curriculum, and that's okay. And film guy, and basically does what's useful at different grade levels. So like we might take small kids in and teach them just about the way water flows. And we might take high school students or college students in and talk about, okay, how do you take a principle that's in a farm pod where we've refined it to the point where, in our opinion, it's as simple and as robust and stable as you can design it. And then how do you take that little piece of information and go back and build something out of like recycled material on the back porch of your house? You know, so we have a couple sort of goals. One of the goals is to feed people with farm pods and put them out everywhere so everybody has access to affordable, healthy food, right? But we also have this other side goal, which is how do we inspire the people that are younger than us, smarter than us, coming up in this stuff that need to be excited about it? How do we inspire them to go back and do it? One of the ways is through the programs we're going to do, but another way also is that we're features modularized a lot of our components. So let's say you want to build a aquaponic farm at home. You can say, well, I really need the thing that automatically feeds the fish. Great, you can get that module from us. You don't have to buy a farm pod. You can, and for like educational stuff, we're working on how we open source it and that sort of thing. So you can learn and play and, you know, maybe have a job with us someday, hopefully. And then sort of push that along and keep offering those different components while people can also look at how we did it and then invent their own. You know, we have often like young kids, younger than I would think, get quite inspired by what's going on in there. And when you guys see it and you taste it, you go, oh, okay, I get why it's interesting. But I think it's just so outside the box that hopefully it'll capture some of that, you know? Yeah. So shall we go out and see the real thing? Go taste some stuff and go right out that door. You coming, Gus? Lead the way. Oh, maybe we should stop it. Oh, Beecher's back in there. We'll follow Gus, but I just want to show you guys a grow tower first, just so you can get an idea what we're talking about. Also, I think everybody saw in the lobby how we have those little trays. These are the little grow plugs that go inside those. They're just elasticized peat. They're a couple pennies a piece. They're used by forestry departments to reforest land, but they're also fully compostable. So you can throw them in your compost bin, and these will be full of nutrient-rich fish water. So it's like rocket fuel for your plants. But this is a grow tower, and the grow tower just hooks in there, and that's where you put the little hook in the end and just slide it out. And you can see this one still has a few chives kind of sticking out of it, but we'll cycle these in and out of the pod. So sometimes these are removable. You'll see all the ones up there, they just come right out. The media in here, actually, there's a whole pile of it right here if you want to see. Oh, is Gus bringing you water bottles? That means he likes you. So this is the media, and it's just sort of like a filter material. This one has roots growing through it, but you know, the roots actually make it hold water better. So when you first start these, you have to use this little like wicking strip. And once you've grown 2 harvests out of it, you don't have to do anything. And this stuff lasts like 3 to 5 years, depending on how you treat it. And you have to replace these, but it's all just, you know, organically certified natural stuff. It's pretty fun. All right, so let's actually go out there.
For our participants online, do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, the two things he does is eat grass and hunt lizards. He eats grass and hunts lizards. He's a crazy dog. So we'll probably have to cycle people kind of through. You can put about 5 people at a time, and I'll sit in there and then I can explain it as you guys come through, but I'll give you the short of it right out here. So the bottom right here is going to have the fish. Right here you see our solar panels, but normally the panels would be mounted right at that white board right there, so it would actually make a little shaded area. We just have been trying to hurricane proof these as much as possible, so we're features engineering a system that will take the panels and basically flip them around and push them back up against it to like give it its own protection if there's a hurricane. Yeah, so, and then upstairs is all the plants, which we'll go up and see in a second. It's 20 feet by 8 feet by 17 feet tall, roughly. So, and you'll see this is all the insulation I was talking about. So this is all blown closed cell insulation. That's how you'll feel like it's 65 degrees in here right now, because this stuff is so insulative, and then where the solar power is keeping it cool. So come on in. Fish tanks. There's baby fish in there. There's one female in here. There's a mated pair in here. And then right now, we're running the whole thing on aquaponics. So this tank is isolated. So normally these are all fish tanks, right? And the fish feeders are behind it. They'll automatically feed. Nutrients aren't quite enough here. So we're going to go ahead and feed the fish a little more, right? And then this is the hosting system, probably just the pH levels. It's the only thing we can't get fish. So these will dose the computers. So the water is always flowing in here, these tanks, always flowing out and back in here. And then it's always flowing up, flowing through the plants and back down here. And then
All right, Dara, if you can hear me, the camera froze and the sound is being a little choppy. Dakota, can you hear me?
I can hear you guys. I was just gonna ask if you guys are hearing anything.
No, the sound is choppy and the visual is gone.
Okay, let me let Rachel know.
I think it's because they went inside the trailer.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, they're trying to switch over because of Wi-Fi issues. No. In the meantime, so my participants online, are there any questions that you have? Anything pertaining to the farm pod itself? I'm gonna try to show you guys, get a better view. So again, this is the farm pod. And it's mainly solar powered, and they get their water from collecting rainwater. So if you can see up there is a greenhouse. There's a couple of things growing, and you have to access it from this end of the farm pod, while the fish is kept on the lower end. So yeah, any questions, maybe types of things that can be grown in a farm pod, certain things that can't. I'll try to show you guys inside. So in here has fish tanks. These are babies.
Yeah, this is something. And there's like a solid that's coming out, overflowing there. There's a return, and we're actually about to incorporate all of these fishes can help you.
Yeah, Tohira, I don't know if you can hear me, but
A little stronger system and just catch and read it.
oh wait, hold on.
We don't want to do rivers. There's a hole here.
Can you guys hear me? Radio should be on now.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. We got it back on.
The sound is a little choppy still. Not seeing anything either.
Okay, I'm letting them know.
I think it's just them going inside the trailer.
Reserve the rain.
Yeah, probably
tank
due to the
over here
insulation.
does have an overflow, and that's because the rainwater comes in, and when it overflows, it'll flow back out. Yeah, they're saying it's choppy.
So I'm hearing from Ray J, but I'm
Yes,
watching
going back. These are all
Tahira's
fish tanks.
camera.
Little fish, a sump tank where everything mixes together. Say it again. They'll stay in there until they grow all the way up, or I can take the big ones and move them down. It depends on the species you're growing.
Okay,
If I'm growing
Regis still
species that will get
problem
aggressive with smaller
shooting a
fish,
little bit,
I
so
need to, yeah.
bear with us through the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, this is Gus. Gus, say hi. Can anyone tell me why dogs tend to eat grass sometimes?
When their stomach hurts.
Does anyone know why?
Water pumps
a
are on the
form of
other
medication.
side. That's what I'm going to show you next. This is Apple or Android?
Apple.
Sometimes apples have a weird time, but let me try it again.
If the Apple is not working, I'm sure you have an Android.
Done for
Let's see if
them.
that goes.
So Gus's two favorite hobbies apparently is catching lizards and eating grass, and he's doing both. But yeah, no questions from our online participants.
Yes, is incorrect. All right, we'll just.
I'm not sure, but you should be cell phone will work out here now. Because I'm hearing myself over this again. So that seems like it's working.
Yeah. I think upstairs is not as insulated.
No, you'll be able to go right in it there. So if everybody got a chance to go inside that wants to? Okay. You want to go in? Huh? Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna go see the machine room, then go upstairs.
these guys coming around. Okay. So this is the machine room. This is what controls all the systems in the farm pod. This is our solar inverter. This is like this house. I
Tahira,
actually have it at my
just
house,
letting you
and
know
it's running me
you
off
can hear
grid.
him, but
These
you
are our
can't
backup
see
batteries.
anything, like the
It's
camera.
important for you to keep the fish aerated and keep water moving. Also to keep the cost of running the farm. Somebody, the second bit.
It's frozen on.
Okay.
Do you need him closer or something?
Okay.
Oh, we got to switch it over to. You got to put it to STX pod.
I did, but it didn't take the password. I know sometimes iPhones and iPads don't like it.
It's a different password out here.
It's
Yeah.
better.
It's always been different than inside. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, a little
Sorry,
more
hold on.
technical
Technical.
difficulties.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. Hold on. Let's get the. It's STX pod. Oh. Stand by. It's restarting. Okay. So.
Let me make sure that everybody else.
Can they hear me on that one? Yeah.
Okay.
So. Where were we? Oh.
Once he turns.
I'm hearing it somewhere else too.
Is your camera off?
I think
to get him on the Wi-Fi.
what's happening is that he was spotlighted. So even though I'm here, they were saying that, but we're good here now. It's good here.
We're
here now.
staying with you, Dara. Should I pin you?
I'm getting an echo as well.
Yeah, because
it's hearing back.
he needs to turn off to disconnect his audio. Yes, Leandra.
Pin you or
Yeah,
wait?
you can spotlight.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and spotlight.
All right. Yeah. So solar.
So what are we doing? So take this one off? Yeah. Okay, Leandra, unspotlight this one.
Okay. Which one we going to? The farm?
You're going to farm.
Okay. So yeah. So we went through the solar. Sorry. We got through the solar bit and why we like to run off of solar and having the backup is important. As we move over this way, this is those relay boards you saw inside. And so this is what's controlling all the actual devices in the pod. So for example, this board here can run the fish feeders. We have dosers on there that we can use to control the pH levels. But basically everything in here is connected through one of these. As we move over here, you'll see this little guy, and this is a little box that was 3D printed that we wired up. And this little box can actually read about 28 thermistors throughout the pod, in the tanks, in the air. So we're monitoring the temperatures upstairs, downstairs, outside, in the tanks, in the exhaust fans. We're measuring all those temperatures. And one of these relays is then turning fans on and off and changing things around based on the temperature outside and we're always trying to keep the greenhouse cool, but in the middle of the day sometimes it gets a little hotter than our AC can keep, so we stop circulating the air from downstairs. We keep the downstairs AC'd and then we turn on exhaust fans, but all that happens automatically based on temperatures, so it's not something you need to think about. Another little cool thing is you'll see there's a little pump here. So there's a system in the pod because as the plants use the water up or things evaporate very slowly in a system like this, but you do have some water loss. So you're always needing to refill the sump. And that's something that's easy to forget and really easy to forget to turn off, turns out. So what happens here is we have a rain tank over here that we collect rain in this pipe, but it's also hooked up to this reverse osmosis. So a hose outside is always turned on and there's a valve here keeping it turned off. And this system, if the rain tank's low, below 50%, will turn on and start ROing water because that's a long process. And we want to always make sure we have enough backup water. So it'll RO that into this tank until it hits the top water or the middle water sensor and then stop filling. And then that allows the system to pump water from the rain tank back to the sump to always keep our levels just right through using those other two water sensors over there. One other system is our cleaning cycle. So the water's coming out of the sump through this pump. It's going back to the fish over here, but up to the greenhouse. And these control the rows. We have 4 rows of vertical grow towers up there. And so the water is always coming out of those rows through little holes. The water that we use is fish water, so there's a lot of nutrients in there. And sometimes that will clog those things up. So to get around that, what we do is every 6 hours, the system will turn off 3 of these valves and open a valve in the back so that the water can just rush through the pipe, which pulls everything out of the pipe. And then it shuts off the valve in the back, which forces all the water to go through those drippers. But now they're going through 4 times more intensely than they were before. So we call that a backflush and a blowout. So every 6 hours, every row gets backflushed and blown out. And that prevents you from having to go up there with a toothpick and clean all the little drippers out. Every day.
It's a nonstop battle.
Yep. But this does about 90% of it for you. So it's very rare to find a dripper that's not dripping. Also along the way, we're monitoring our total dissolved solid, our total dissolved oxygen, and our pH. So we're always checking that. And so if the system sees that the pH has dropped a little bit, it'll dose it a little bit, wait and see how much it changed it, do the calculation and get it to the target point with the next dose. The TDS, oh, sorry, yep.
Do you guys have, the question was, do you guys have plans to partner with the university and build a farm pod at the university?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I think we even have already talked with Dr. Hall about, he wants to do the first one on, he was talking about doing here because they already have it, there is already progress here, but we're not, he hasn't said that part of stone, but yes, we're definitely, we would love to be really working closely with the university to develop this kind of stuff.
Can I just get through this this part real quick? So we have the TDS, which is the total dissolved solids. Basically, that's the level of nutrients in the system. So you can set a threshold, and then it will change the amount. You guys all saw the fish feeders in there. So it'll just run each of those fish feeders maybe a half a second longer if it needs to get it to come up, or half a second less if it needs it to go down. And the other one's just the total dissolved oxygen to make sure that the fish have enough oxygen all the time. Yes, you had a question.
Yeah, I was wondering how much does it cost to build? The question was, how much does it cost to build?
That is not something I can tell you because of our sort of contractual obligations, but I can tell you that they sell for $72,000. And that includes the solar and the batteries and the whole thing. But the thing to remember is it's a commercial farm, right? This isn't something you would put at your home to feed 4 people. This is something you would share between a bunch of homes to feed 25 people. This is something you'd put at a restaurant and makes all the lettuce and all that stuff. So it's interesting down here because the cost of produce is so high, we actually have like a return on the investment for one of these is between 6 and 12 months, depending on what you're growing. If you're growing stuff that's like
shiso, which I'll show you up there, it goes for $1 a leaf. So just to let that sink in, 1 leaf is $1, and it's a tree that grows leaves. So it's a money tree. But things like basil and other things like that, and hot peppers and exotic strawberries, I mean, one of these pays for themselves very quickly, but it is definitely a large investment. And so one of the things we've been doing is to work with like banks and places like that to treat this like you're buying a vehicle. So you buy it, you pay it over 5-7 years, somewhere in that range. And during that time, you're making money, so it's paying for everything that you need. You have a question too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were some of the initial problems that you had reading?
Oh, well, I would say most of the problems that we had.
Everything can be automated.
Yeah, everything. The automation stuff was definitely the hardest. I mean,
And a lot of it, the automated.
oh yeah, no, oh those items. I mean, like, so the things that are tricky when it comes to systems is how do you build a system that only uses one pump, that if the pump turns off, that all the water settles in a place where it doesn't overflow. Like something as simple as that is huge, because if it goes down, you've got nothing and everything dies. So you need to have it be, you can't be losing water. We can't be having things overflow. So I'd say a lot of that's that sort of thing. Definitely the original before the cleanings, the hardest thing was to get working right was the drippers. We spent probably a few months just even drilling different sized holes and pipes with the same pressure to figure out exactly what's the amount that will make it so that, oh, airplane. To make it so that the right water flow happens, but they don't clog, and that when you push pressure through them, you don't have one that drips less than the first one. You can't have the first row of plants get, twice the water of the last row of plants. So those kind of things were definitely probably the trickiest. Yeah, aqua dynamics, right? So, yeah. Does that answer the question? Cool. All right, shall we go up? So
This was meant to be temporary, so be careful with this railing.
just on the right side, right there, it's a little loose.
Put a hand on it.
Okay. And we can take 5 people at a time upstairs, and then we have to sort of cycle them through. Want to follow them up? Oh, I'll bring, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. A normal farm pod has a set of stairs in the back, but the last ones we were using were steel. They were too heavy to ship. We didn't like working with them. We wanted, go ahead. And we wanted something that was aluminum and could go up and down. So we're switching to a dock system that lifts up and you can lock it up. All right, so let me see how many that is, and there's at least 5, okay. Better to hold onto the ladder than that railing. Gus, you can't climb up right now. There's too many people, buddy. I know. All right, here we go. Just keep sliding in a little bit. It's tiny.
No, I just scared of high places.
Oh, are you? You're doing good. You're doing good. Don't worry. So yeah, we've got, you see, like they said, you couldn't grow peppers out of vertical grow towers. And we would say that's not the case, because there's hot peppers everywhere in here. There's Thai dragon peppers. There's Buena Mulata peppers. There's jalapeno peppers. These are the hottest ones. These are like habanero hot. Yeah. That's shiso. Taste one. Pull a leaf off. Tear some pieces up. Try it. It tastes like citrusy cumin. Yeah. Yeah. Try it out. Especially if you like cumin. I'm good. I eat it all the time. It's a crazy flavor, right? Yeah, it's the after flavor. You're like, how is that possible? Isn't that cool? And then behind you guys right here, try it here. Pull a leaf off and pass that down. This is chocolate mint. It tastes like a chocolate peppermint patty.
Wait, where?
It's right there. Yeah.
I like to eat, but
No, you don't have to eat them. You like chives?
I think you might.
Like these right behind you? Right? It's chocolate mint,
Oh, you could definitely taste like the mint.
right? And then the one above you is a Thai basil that tastes like licorice basil. Oh, it's the plant. Yeah, try whatever you want, man. Yeah, try that one.
I'll take some to the.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Oh, try this one. This one's Thai basil. That one's amazing. Yep. It tastes like licoricey basil. They use it. You can actually use it in bush tea, but they use it in like Thai food, Vietnamese food. Yeah, go ahead, man. Here. All good. No worries at all.
Oh God.
So let me show you how to start this one. So what you're gonna do is put your left. He's good. I'll hold this, Beecher. We got it. Just hold the bottom. Put your left hand right here. No. Oh yeah, this is good. Yeah. And then reach this arm over and put one foot on the ladder, and then just go backwards down. Put your hand there. He's good. Yeah. You got it, man. There you go. You're bringing flowers down.
Yeah, we ate these already.
Huh? Oh yeah, totally. Beecher and I run up and down this thing with these showers on our shoulders. So, do you get to taste everything? Okay, cool. Hold down the ladder though. It's better than holding onto that thing.
I put it in my pocket sadly, but I don't want to.
Yeah, you got it. No, it'll be better once the stairs are here. They go off right here and they just go down the whole back. Yeah, that's the bad one. Just hold on to this stuff. You got it. You got it.
Thank you.
Yeah. What? Just tear a piece off. It's delicious. It tastes like citrusy cumin. It's one of my favorite plants. Yeah, probably. It's $1 a leaf, man. Come on up. Whoever wants to come next. 5 more. There you go. Feel free to taste anything you like. The chives, if you like chives, are really good. They're like sweet and not, they're like 4 towers down on the right. Just past the buena mulata peppers, there should be some chives. Yeah, try one of those. Those are good. Come on in. Which one did you try? The shiso? Oh yeah, that's fun. Come on up. I will. Nice. Come on up. This is 5. Go on in. What? You can have anything you like. What do you want? Or the shiso? You want some Thai? But yeah. Yeah. Hey, BC, do we have, let me see if the Ziplocs are up here. If not, will you grab them and I'll, oh yeah, take all the pictures you like. So, and you got to taste everything. So, you want to try the mint and just try some mint. Taste that one. That one's chocolate mint. Pull a leaf off and eat it. Buena mulata. Very, very hot, like habanero. Yeah, those are the buena mulata peppers. They're like Scotch bonnet hot. They're like a 9 and 10 on the Scoville scale.
Can I take one? Boom. For my dad.
Let me get you a big one.
Oh, you tried it? It's just a little.
Oh, you tasted it? No, you know those are that you like cook a whole bowl of soup with that. Oh, watch out behind you, the peppers. The mint will cool you down. That right there is Thai basil. It's sweet Siam Thai basil. Yeah, but pick one of the bright green leaves. That's a little bit. Go to the one on your right. Like, see how it's bright green on top? This plant's very old because we actually saved the flowers from it. But it tastes like licoricey basil. Too crazy for you? Not everybody likes that. I do too. We've got, here, try some Italian basil. This is a giant leaf Italian basil. It gets huge. That one's really good. Thanks, buddy. That is that looks like an early jalapeno. Oh, this is a New Mexico green chili. They get really big. The plants get huge, like it was to the ceiling and to the floor. Kind of like that one in the back, that jalapeno that's touching the ceiling back there. We give it all away right now. We give it to different chefs, restaurants. If you come by, I'll make you a bag. I'm giving you guys some to go make stuff. So anytime, oh, watch out the peppers. Anytime people want stuff, as long as they're gonna do a cool thing with it and take a picture of it and tag us, we're happy. Yeah. Oh yeah, and all the water up here is flowing through the top of those towers, right? And then it's coming down, and these towers can just come out. So you can move everything around in here easily. That's a jalapeno early, I think. But I think it's mislabeled. That looks more like a green chili to me. Sometimes our intern, he's planting so many at once, he doesn't catch it.
You have to fight some disease or insect.
Almost none. You see we have a little white flies right now, but we release 1,000 ladybugs a month, and they eat all the pests. Yep. Oh, that's fennel. Yeah, good eye though. Celery looks just like that. So does dill sometimes. We're testing if you can grow a bulb in the tower. So it's a fennel bulb will get, you know, like a small onion. And we've never tried it before. So we thought, let's see what happens. And like this whole thing's a big experiment. Everything we're growing out here, we just want numbers on. We want to know how many pounds of this were produced, how many pounds of that per tower per month. Put your left hand here and then turn and put a foot down, but don't hold on to the wood. Hold on to that. Yep. You'll be okay. We can pull the trampoline out. You can just do it. No, I know, all right. I want one though. I'm gonna put one on my land soon. Go ahead. And I'm gonna pick some stuff for you guys to bring back with you because they want to do some infused water. Yeah, I was gonna toss it to him. Oh, hold on to this, not that railing. That railing is what's old. Yeah. And feel free to taste anything. So this is the you try the shiso down there? Would you like to? So tear off some of that leaf and try it. It's really good.
This is shiso here, Mike.
Yeah, you grab one of those. It's like
Use that instead of.
they use it inside of, well, they do it instead of basil for mojitos, but that's new. Usually they roll it inside of really fine sushi, and it has a bright, I don't know if you got to here, tried that one. It's got a very bright citrusy cumin flavor. So these ones are hot. You like spicy? You want to try one? They're crazy. Just take a little bite though. Yeah, once you start getting close to some of those seeds, it's like, oh, yep, there it is. See what I mean? And here, I'm gonna sneak, you're good right there. I'll sneak to this side. And then you guys can go all the way down and take a look. We could produce between 65 and 120 pounds a week. So we're churning out stuff. Definitely one, if you like licorice, taste this one. This one is Thai basil.
Yeah.
I love that one. That one behind you is chocolate mint. So feel free to taste any. There's no chemicals sprayed on anything. And then I'm just going to, yeah, that's chocolate mint. I'm making them a little adventure bag of hot peppers. Yeah.
Online participants, just want to check in with you guys. Do you have any questions?
Whoever wants
any
to be
comments?
adventurous, here's
Did you see
all the
anything
hot stuff.
interesting? Nothing yet. Do you guys want to see any of the hot peppers?
Oh, you did? Oh.
Okay, how did you
Shiso tree?
acquire the chocolate?
No, it's back
Okay,
farther.
let
Do you
me
need,
ask
what do you,
them.
see the shiso? Oh, they're down. You can come back up and look. What? Another one, what? That, the basil? Yeah, I got you some shiso here too to play with. Woo, Wendy. Not grow fruiting right now, but they're on the left right there. They're just not fruiting.
I'm just waiting for one or two people to come on.
Oh yeah. For me?
Okay, so there's an online question. I think they can still hear you.
Oh, okay, yep.
They asked, how did you acquire the chocolate mint?
Can you guys hear me okay? Maybe I hit something on here. Hey guys, here's one more. Ready? Oh, nice hands. So that's the other really hot one.
Can you guys hear us or no?
Are you guys able to hear?
Okay, yeah. Okay, loud and clear.
We
Okay.
can hear you guys.
All right. Sorry. Okay, so the question, and you could just speak now.
Yep.
I disconnected the. They were asking, how did you acquire the chocolate mint?
Oh, we actually found a plant at Gallows Bay Hardware. They had one of it, and then we took it and we took snippings and we cloned them. And then this is the result. We have these ones in the towers. We have these mints are from the same thing. We have two other chocolate mint right behind you. All of those have been growing for a very long time, and they're and they just they just keep spreading. So anytime we want it, we just take a clipping, and then we would take this clipping and then put it into water, a little piece of it,
Until it roots.
Yeah, until it roots. I'm gonna send home with you guys to play with.
Ah, great.
Somebody down there is getting inspired to infuse things with it. So I think that's awesome. Yeah, which one? Okay, so I have this basil right here, which is a sweet cyan basil. Italian basil, which is like this. And then I have a giant leaf basil, which is like
And where's the
oh yeah, just shake it up.
the strawberry tree?
What?
The strawberry?
These are all strawberries starting right now.
Ah, okay. A 4-H'er has conquered her fear.
That's only fun, I don't care. Very extremely painful. Every part of my body was like jumping. I tried to help.
Any more questions at this time?
So feel free to. You haven't tasted it. Have you started tasting stuff yet? No.
Rajiv?
Yes.
Can you pick up their contacts and bring it over if you can?
Oh yeah.
Oh, his contact information?
Maybe business cards or something like that. Over.
Okay. Do you have business cards?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get a few business cards, bring it back to UVI. And then we
thank you
also
so much. Thanks so much.
we'll
Rajiv.
also share it with the rest of the people in the chat, whether it be in the chat or tomorrow or yeah.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
Get your last little look because I am okay. We're frozen. Okay, but I'm heading back down. And here is quite the heat station. Oh, what is this? Does anybody know what this is? Can you tell me in the chat?
I know. I asked earlier.
What is that?
Are you talking about the thing in the back? The thing that looks like celery?
Yeah, it's like up here.
Right. It's similar to dill, but it's not dill.
It kind of looks like celery.
Similar to it's similar to dill and celery. She said it's fennel.
Oh, it's fennel. The name of it is fennel.
I think I'm stuck up here. I think I'm gonna live there now.
Nah, you're good. We're going down. Look, somebody's gonna hold the top, somebody's gonna hold the bottom, and you gotta go. The chat.
Yep, those are backup arrows. Actually, we get some air into the tanks from the circulation of this pump, right? This is what's feeding the fish tanks. Goes out there and then makes up the
video.
where that goes into the fish tank. So there's a T. So picture a pipe of water running through it. Inside that pipe is a T. Then you put another pipe inside that slide down, and it's an angle on it. So you get the angle facing away from the water pipe. What that does is force the water to go around it and it pulls air, injects air into your airstream, into your water pipe. So then that air, then that water is now collecting air as it's going in and making bubbles. Take that thing and pull it out, and it doesn't do anything. You know? And like little things, like see this here? This is ever so slightly pitched to fill this tank, right? Well, if we're collecting rain with this, how do we tell it to stop collecting rain? What happens when this tank is full? So the way this is going to get plugged in over here is and there's a trick that goes here. So that when that fills up,
All right, Tahira, he's going in and out again with sound.
So just free plumbing, run the water out until it's full, and it's just gonna go. Yeah, well, it's the case of the pipe. I think inside the pipe.
Okay, so does anyone have any remaining questions either about the setup of the farm pod, maybe what they use the plants for, anything that you might want to know about this setup? And we have all our participants here. Any questions? Okay, so Dakota just posted a question in the chat. So participants, if you could have a farm pod of your own, what would you want to grow and why would you want to grow that? And also, is there anything that you have questions about as to whether or not they could even be grown in a farm pod?
Bays is a good one, Matthew. That's a good one. Okay.
We're helping a participant down, conquer her fear of heights. All right, last call again. Any more questions from our participants online? Anything else that you guys want to see? Here's a look at the solar panels. He said usually the solar panels would be mounted on this white area, so it would almost act as an awning. But because we're currently in hurricane season, what they're trying to do is find a way to make this structure as hurricane proof as possible, because you could imagine that a structure like this would be very difficult to keep hurricane proof. And being that they're situated in the Virgin Islands, that's always a concern and something that we have to prepare for.
All right, guys, this is, do you want to wrap it up or are we good?
Wait, you gotta, Adrian, you gotta film.
All right. What's the name again? So here we have Adrian is gonna try the what is it? The dragon something pepper.
Me that too. Then one's going on St. Thomas to
Give me one of those for
You have one.
No, I don't.
You had one.
I give it to
That's gonna put it on the side of the road. And then hopefully the school is ready. And then
Wait, I have to.
if you're still spotlight, you could film too. No. We have a team.
We have bacon and everything.
Very much. How about it be hilarious?
Okay. Leandra, can you spotlight me again, please?
You're spotlighted. Wait, let me double check. Wait, hold on. Oh, no, he wasn't. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You're good. We're good. All right. So, what's the name of this pepper again? Mike, what's the name of this pepper again?
Thai dragon pepper.
Okay, so
That one is a hot cayenne.
okay, so Adrian is gonna try the Thai dragon pepper.
Oh, brave man. Brave man.
Yes.
You learned from yesterday.
You need a jug or
Disclaimer.
No, don't.
You should have said that at the other farm. He ate a whole pepper.
That's small.
This is small bite.
Is it hot?
This is small. Whoa.
You're still eating it. That's the thing.
Hey, I just want to let you know that this is hot pan. So
We're not gonna eat that one right now.
I'll take
Wow.
He'll be okay.
Now, here's the fun thing. These ones, these three, those are shishitos. These are not hot. These are nutty.
Ray J, you're muted. Tahira, if you can hear me, can you tell Ray J that he's muted?
Yeah, I know I'm muted.
Oh, okay.
He's actually crying, guys. It was that hot. Okay. All right.
So are we closing up?
Okay. Okay, guys.
Okay. So we're getting ready to close up. And hopefully we don't have to make any runs to the ER or any kind of silliness like that. But just when you're messing with peppers, understand that you're working with his chemistry.
I mean, that's what pepper spray is.
It's pure and simple capsaicin, if you wanted to go get bear spray,
It's off.
you'd be getting a can of what you just ingested. So it's very cautionary. So again, let's close this up today. Let's say a special thanks to our folks, good folks, Mike Straight and Beecher here at Farm Pod. I hope that you guys enjoyed and learned a lot. And our good friend right down here, Gus.
Yes.
Yeah, Gus was
Also, if they have questions or anything else, I'm happy to share my info and feel free to reach out. You know, if you guys have thoughts about anything, we're always looking for feedback.
Okay. And as Mr. Straight just said, if you guys have additional questions, we'll make sure that his info is shared so that you can reach out to him again. And if there's opportunities that you want to dialogue with him about further applications, he's happy to do so. So we really appreciate it. We're looking forward to seeing the farm pod sprout up across the island. I know that one of the things that he said, if he didn't mention it in our video feeds, was that those would likely be actually set up in all of our public schools. So that would be really quite a cool thing if that happened. I know Mutiny Island Vodka is going to be the recipient of perhaps one of the first setups that they've done. So that's kind of a cool thing as well. There's a couple of farm stands that are going to be popping up that are using this technology in this setup. So again, it's a way of production in a very small footprint. Put in the chat, what is the actual footprint that this unit that you just saw actually takes up? 3 dimensions, length, height, and width. Put it in the chat.
20 by 8 by
Yeah. Our counselors look at that. So put it in the chat, length, width, height of this unit. I don't know whether you might have heard as we closed out too, a unit like this cost about $72,000 with a 6 to 12 return on the investment. So you do the math and begin to think about how you can retune and redo and relook at a different time. So thank you very much, Farm Pod partners. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you. So for my online participants, sorry, just a reminder that we're going to be reconvening at 6:30 again today. It's really important that you guys show up because we're going to be putting you into your group so you can work on your projects for our closing ceremony. So make sure you guys are on time and ready to discuss with the others in your group. And we're there to help you guys with whatever help you need. If you guys need help putting or going into different breakout rooms or making group chats with your other group members, just make sure you let us know. And we're going to get started on those projects. But thank you for being attentive. And thank you for joining us at Farm Pod. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Well,